Hi and welcome to the daily reading for May 7th. And every day this year is coming from Jesus Calling, Enjoying Peace in His Presence by Sarah Young. I don't know why I always want to say finding peace in His presence. I often make that error, but it is enjoying peace in His presence. And the book comes in a beautiful turquoise as well, but I thought this was kind of biblical when I bought it, so I thought that's quite apt to have it kind of biblical when it's Bible readings. So, May 7th. If you learn to trust me, really trust me, with your whole being, then nothing can separate you from my peace. Everything you endure can be put to good use by allowing it to train you in trusting me. This is how you foil the works of evil, growing in grace through the very adversity that was meant to harm you. Joseph was a prime example of this divine reversal, declaring to his brothers, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." Do not fear what this day or any day may bring your way. Concentrate on trusting me and on doing what needs to be done. Relax in my sovereignty, remembering that I go before you as well as with you into each day. Fear no evil, for I can bring good out of every situation you will ever encounter. And this ties in with Genesis 50, verse 20, and Psalm 23, verse 4. Oh, Psalm 23, that's the Lord's my shepherd from memory. Psalm 23. Interesting. Okay, so don't fear. God and Jesus can bring good out of evil. Things that we grumble and groan about or are absolutely terrified about are given to us as growth material, I think. Growth material in lots of things, but growth material in our trust in the bigger picture. For Christians, it's trust in God, trust in Jesus, trust in the Holy Spirit. So it's all those things. And the more we trust, the more easily we can trust. And it's interesting that, when he says, if you learn to trust me, really trust me with your whole being. And that's the kicker, because lots of us believe and lots of us say that we trust, but there's believing and then there's believing and then there's trusting and there's trusting. It's almost like there's a line, where we know, but then we know, and then we trust, and we trust, we believe, we believe. It's a completely different level. It's a spiritual level. It's not a superficial level. It's not a mental level. It's a deep knowing level that we go into if we practice long enough. But we have to do the practice. I don't think for most of us, maybe some people do have that real big aha moment, that big revelation where it all falls into place. But I think most of us, it's kind of that practice of doing the trusting, that practice of doing the believing. And then we will have little things that show us that belief and that trust is being rewarded, if you like. It makes our life easier. So that is the reward of trusting, the reward of believing is that we have more peaceful lives. We're not always groaning and grumbling about the way life is because we are showing gratitude for all the things that we do have. And it seems very simplistic when I say it. And if you're going through a rough time, you switch me off because, that sounds too easy and how can that possibly work? But from someone who has lived the experience of going through the tough times and trusting and believing and feeling that drop into that deeper level of belief, that deeper level of trust. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And if it's all poppycock or gobbledygook, then, my life is more peaceful and happy because of it. It doesn't really matter, if it's true. if you want to say that, it's not that I believe it's a lie, but it's my truth. It's the truth of many Christians, but I choose to believe in my way because it makes my life easier. I don't choose to ram it down your throat, if you're listening to this, then great. You know, if you like it and you get something from it and you want to explore it, brilliant. But if you don't, that's okay. You know, I'm not going to stand here or sit here and try and persuade you otherwise. These are my beliefs. This is my exploration. And if you decide to do your own, I think that's magnificent. Anyway, 5 minutes is up. Namaste. Love to you all. Bye now. Bye.